Dave, €10 for every day of delay for each dose. It's quite a lot of money, isn't it, that the EU is asking for here?
It's an astronomical amount, and that's in addition to the 10 million euros they're asking for each violation of the contract. Just to give you an idea about how much this would be, by the end of June, it's expected that AstraZeneca will be 200 million doses short of the delivery schedule that it envisaged. So you do the math there, this is a huge amount of money. But for the European Commission, they believe they have to get EU taxpayers' money back. The Commission pre-funded these orders of AstraZeneca vaccines that were not delivered, and the Commission says they had to order additional Pfizer vaccines because AstraZeneca didn't deliver what it said it would. So this is very, very much about signaling here the Commission is intent on getting EU taxpayers' money back. Now, the argument we heard today during that hearing rests on two crucial points. The Commission says that AstraZeneca, when it envisioned this schedule for vaccines, that it could have met that delivery if it had not prioritized the UK, the country in which it is based. Most specifically, they brought up today the fact that the two facilities in the UK, which the Commission believes in the EU contract it is envisioned that vaccine doses would come from there, that no doses ever came from those UK facilities, and that one facility in the Netherlands, the Helix plant, also did not deliver vaccines to the EU, and that instead doses went to the UK. The second argument, they are saying that the best reasonable efforts excuse of AstraZeneca doesn't work because they're comparing it with the performance of Pfizer and Moderna, who did meet their delivery schedule.
And what's the defense of AstraZeneca here?
Well, from AstraZeneca, we were wondering today whether they would use the defense. There's a line in the contract that essentially says that the Commission cannot sue AstraZeneca for not meeting the contract. And so it was people were wondering, were they going to trot out that argument today, and would it work? Because if it did work, that would be very embarrassing for the Commission, because people would ask, why did you sign a contract that says you can't sue if the contract isn't met? Well, the AstraZeneca hasn't laid out that argument today, and legal experts think that's because under Belgian law, which is the law that applies to this particular contract, such a provision is not enforceable. So that was interesting. It probably means that AstraZeneca is going to rely on this best efforts defense, where it says in the contract that AstraZeneca will use all of its best efforts to meet that schedule. But of course, the Commission's defense here, the Commission's accusation, is that they didn't use best reasonable efforts, that they could have made this delivery if they hadn't prioritized the UK. So that's going to be the crux of the argument here. We're expecting a verdict on this next month, but the reality is that this could go on for a very long time, because this will involve a lot of appeals. And that means that it probably won't result in more vaccine doses actually being delivered to the EU in the short term. This is very much about the Commission signaling that it's not going to be a pushover when it comes to EU taxpayer money, and that it will enforce the contracts that it signed with companies. It's essentially a signal to other companies for future contracts. If they didn't try to push back on what AstraZeneca has done here, there's a risk, of course, that in the future companies would think that they could not meet contracts. Of course, AstraZeneca says that they did meet the contract, and it will be up to a judge to decide whether or not that happens.
Dave Keating for